Well, here's a guy that claimed he was a writer. I mean, for some reason, Vince, the WWE, would hire some writers. I don't know why. If they were, the bookers that used to run wrestling were ex-wrestlers that knew the psychology. Vince Russo was another guy. I'm a writer, but the reality was him and his family just sold CDs on Long Island. He didn't have a clue about the wrestling business. And I really don't know why, maybe Vince brought some guys in just to get a whole flood of ideas, and then if he heard a good one, take it from there, and the rest, who cares? But at the time of the WCW, it was a matter of pure luck and idiocracy of the TBS people, because they were going to shut down in a year. They had an accountant running the business to not spend money. Eric was gone. Me and Bobby were gone. They brought Russo in because, and I remember talking to Tom, I said, Russo, why in the hell would you do that? You got guys here that know, And he said, well, we stole them from Vince. And guess what? He wasn't even under contract. And I said, well, of course he wasn't under contract because he's a nobody. Gee, Tom, duh. And it was just out of stupidity of TBS and luck out for Russo. And the only time Russo had was with Jeff Jarrett. Because when Russo was in the WWE, he did some stuff to push Jeff Jarrett. And then when Jeff Jarrett got a little stroke with it, TNA, he was thankful. So he brought, Russo in. But I mean, in terms of a human being, not a bad guy, but in terms of a wrestling, no knowledge. He shouldn't have been in the business. Neither should any of the writers.
Do you remember a couple of months after Russo came that he booked you to come out of commentary and wrestle Kurt Hennig in a loser leaves town match? I think it was at the beginning of 2000 or very, very late 1999. Do you remember that?
I remember wrestling Kurt because I picked him up for a suplex or something and he started screaming because he was afraid of getting hurt. But I don't remember if that was like a match I had because I was going to get in the ring with Scott Hall, and Bishop during that time.
No, it was actually, I believe it was very early 2000 or very late 99. It was like a couple of months after Russo came in.
Yeah, you probably know more than I did. Yeah, because I was there, Russo came in, but then a couple months after that, the contracts, weren't done. And then that's when we found out about the company not being around in less than a year, because they didn't tell people that, but I knew some TBS people, so they told me. But I don't. I remember wrestling Kurt, and I remember wrestling Six Pack, X Pack, but I don't. It could have been at the very end, if it was a loser leave towns because I was gone and done anyway, But it's not a big memory.
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Enough is enough! Rudy Poo had him writhing in pain with my sharpshooter.
Rocky!
I am not a nugget!
Stick him straight up your candy ass!
I kicked your leg out of your leg.
The Rock has come!